This lecture is to explore the possibilities in pedaling for Beethoven's piano works, specifically in this sonata. I will call this the creative pedaling. It is about finding the balance between the stylistic demands from the classical period and the personal artistic demands one has. I will not go into comparing the piano back then at the time Beethoven lived to the modern piano now that has significantly evolved. However, I will put this into my considerations, the fact that Beethoven was constantly searching for an ideal piano to serve his endless creative mind. Few piano factories took advantage of that. Beethoven was like their salesperson. Pedal at Beethoven's time was still in its early stage of inventions and development, and it consistently became one of Beethoven's strong interests. For example, in few passages, he wrote his pedal markings for having one continuous pedal for the entire phrase, such as in the recitative of his Tempest Sonata. I will narrow down my topic to the functions of pedaling and how these functions may entertain our creative mind, having a creative pedaling. Let us start with the two main functions of pedaling. First, to connect the sound, and second, to color the sound. First, let me try to play these chords as legato as possible without the pedal. Now I am going to use the pedal, but I only want to use the pedal just to connect the sound. This means I would like to hear as much as possible the pure tone. Now I am going to use the pedal to color the tone. Let me show you one more time the differences. And now with pedal to connect and to get as much as possible the pure tone. Now with pedal to color the tone. Now to the creative pedaling. What is this creative pedaling? It is balancing pure tone and color tone driven by our artistic desire and our understanding of the historical backgrounds. In other words, it is about balancing the two functions of pedal. Those are to connect and to color. Here is a good example of a creative pedaling. The opening of this sonata. To this massive opening chord, the coloring will give the extra depth, darkness, and dignity needed. Also a touch of mystery. But in this creative pedaling, I will also pay attention to the stylistical considerations. The question is how much I want to color this chord by pedaling. I choose to reduce the durations of these pedal colorations. I will try to produce similar effect without pedaling too much, but through bringing down all my weight to the keys. And here is the result of my stylistical considerations. I must imagine the same majestic effect, but without using pedal in the first half of this chord. Notice how I also reduce at the back where I will lift the pedal off sooner. It is important to have a consistency of personal taste. It means, in similar situations, for the rest of the piece, I will apply more or less the same measurement for tone coloring with pedal. To give a drastic contrast to the massive opening chord, I like to produce a thinner sound texture afterward. The pure tone I maintain in the green area here will give me the atmosphere of loneliness and emptiness. But I need to connect the chords in this green area. I need to use the pedal to achieve this. So here in this green area, I will use pedaling discreetly only to connect chords. Here I use the pedal sparingly, almost undetectable, only to connect chords. On the last chord, the release point, I prefer no use of pedal to color. I would like to maintain emptiness and loneliness through pure tone here. To make it clear, I am going to play the normal pedaling and the creative pedaling. Here how the normal pedaling will look like and will sound like. And now, the creative pedaling. I am not saying the second one is better than the first one. I am here showing another possibility with pedaling, and to my taste, I am more satisfied with this creative pedaling. I feel I have enough proportions of the pure tone here, and I have specific intentions for that, which is to convey the emptiness and the loneliness. The traditional pedaling is too full for me and will not give me the effect I desire. But my preference too can spontaneously change depending on my mood. I might want to have the heavier pedaling to convey the heaviness of the atmosphere in this passage. I may combine the first and the second pedalings as well. My point here is the fact that I have choices that are able to serve my specific intentions. I'm going to provide another example of the creative pedaling, and here I am going to take advantage of what the modern piano's pedal is able to do. First, let us see what is the situation here. We have the end of a climax majestic passage, the culmination point of the second movement. But what is the challenge or the issue here? The issue, or the personal issue I should say, comes when I try to follow the rest marking Beethoven wrote on the second quaver of the bar. I have a preference to maintain a little longer that left-hand bass note E so that the majestic atmosphere does not too abruptly get cut off. However, I also want to obey Beethoven's marking. Now I would like to introduce the thinning out of the sound texture in modern piano's pedal, particularly effective here for the bass line. It is done by repeatedly lifting the pedal halfway and quickly pressing down to catch the echo after the fingers are no longer on the key. I would name this technique catching the echo with the pedal, and as the result, the sound is still there but progressively becoming thinner and thinner. Here I will demonstrate this catching the echo technique. First, I will demonstrate to you how long the sound will decay with the normal pedaling. Very long for sure on this modern piano. Now notice I lifted my hand off the keys first and will do this catching the echo pedaling. The sound is thinning faster, and the good thing is that I can regulate how fast or how slow this tapering of the sound. And now it is the exciting time to demonstrate how such ability can serve the intentions I desire, yet also observing the composer's desire. There is a possibility that this is what Beethoven had in mind, but did not have the piano that can serve him this way at that time. So here it is. And there are a few other passages that I apply the same pedaling in this sonata. There are still other pedaling techniques, and there are many tutorials on YouTube for pedaling that are useful for every pianist to know, to be aware of. Here I am in this lecture is trying to show through the creative pedaling how we could apply what we know about the pedaling of our modern day piano to serve our artistic desire, while at the same time carefully observing the stylistical portion. For the conclusions of my lecture, I will present to you here the summary of considerations in making choices for this creative pedaling. First, in our consideration is that I am here playing a piece from the classical period. I must understand what is the center point of the classical period. The classical period in music was the Enlightenment period in the history of mankind. Clarity was everything they seek in many aspects of life, including art and music. This clarity in music, among other, touches the clarity of tone and articulations. This orientation on clarity becomes a significant determining factor in our choices of pedaling. This means pure tone rules over color tone by pedaling. We color tone more by different touches on the keys rather than by using pedal. Remember this example? This is the case in which I tailor my desire to the stylistical considerations. Now to the second point, who Beethoven was. What was his approach to pedaling? Well, Beethoven was a visionary. He envisioned a piano that is not available at his present time, a piano that one day could satisfy his strong quest for ultimate and endless artistic expression. This gives me enough reason to take advantage of our modern piano, even when a kind of pedaling was not available in Beethoven's time. And this brings me to the last consideration, which is the instrument. I believe Beethoven would be very happy to have our modern day piano. Again, my suggestion is to check on many pedaling tutorials on YouTube and explore how this modern piano could fulfill lofty visions of Beethoven on pedaling to serve his and your artistic expressions. I hope these lectures may open your interest in seeking all the pedaling opportunities in our modern day piano.